Hey guys, welcome back to Vanguard Motor Sales. I'm Greg and this is a 7442. She's got a 425 big block under the hood, a 5-speed, a jet black paint job, beautiful interior. You're gonna love checking this car out. So go to our website at vanguardmotorsales.com. We're gonna put it up on the lift so you can see how nice the bottom is. We're gonna pop the hood, take a look under the hood. We're gonna look at the interior. We're gonna look inside the trunk. We're gonna show you everything you wanna see so you can make a great decision on your Oldsmobile investment. So come on up and we'll fire this baby up for you right now. So check this beauty out, man. The black paint job on it is phenomenal, straight as an arrow. And man, the gold on those hood scoops, man, it looks sharp. We got great looking chrome, the grille looks good, everything fits great. I tell you, the body work on the car is phenomenal. She is straight as an arrow. Look down the side of this car. It looks like a big black mirror. I love the Oldsmobile wheels on it. It's got BFGs on there. The door is fitting real nice and flush. That gap is nice and straight. Everything about the car is beautiful. Now that door handle probably is original to the car and it's in beautiful shape. Door operates nice and smooth. The door jambs are nice and clean. The door panels are beautiful. The carpeting looks great. There's that 5-speed hooked up to that Tremec transmission. Bucket seats, seat belts in the front and in the rear. Headliner looks good. Great looking dash on the car also. Love that steering wheel. Beautiful. All the chrome on the dash looks good. There's a 3-pack of gauges down there. And again, that Hurst shifter hooked up to that 5-speed. This car drives amazing, guys. Love the wing on the back. Great looking chrome on the rear bumper. We'll pop open this trunk and take a look inside. Look inside the trunk there, man. Big old Oldsmobile mat in the trunk, isn't that cool? All the paint work around the gutter system looks good. All the rubber looks good. The paint on the bottom side of the deck lid looks good. The lips on the deck lid also look good. Look down the side of it. Look how beautiful that car is. Man, and the reflections, I can't get over the reflections. It's just beautiful. Now at Vanguard Motor Sales, we're not consignment dealers. That means we own this Oldsmobile. Right now we've got about 220 cars in stock and we own every one of those cars. So you can bet we check them out before we buy them. Then when we bring them to the shop, we inspect them so we can answer all your questions. When you call Tom at 248-974-9513. Now we bring in about 40 new cars every month. And I personally check out every one of the cars that we buy. So what that means to you is you're getting our 35 plus years of experience helping you pick out your dream car. Let's take this Olds for a ride. I love that hood on this Oldsmobile, man. Them gold stripes are so badass. The 5-speed transmission, the big block under the hood, air conditioning. This Oldsmobile's ready to rock, guys. Give us a call at 248-974-9513 and Tom will tell you just how easy it is to park this dream in your driveway no matter where you live in the world. We are professional shippers. We can ship this car anywhere in the world. Just give us a call. We can also help you with financing on the car. We got 3 bankers we work with on the financing end. If you want a phone call from one of the bankers, just give Tom a call. It takes about 15 minutes. Or you can fill out an app online at vanguardmotorsales.com. While you're on our website, make sure you check out the inventory. We've always got new stuff coming in. We bring in about 40 new cars a month. We've got 220 in inventory, and we own every one of those cars. So you can bet we checked them out before we bought them. Now you can see down here on the dash, it looks like everything on the dash is working. We've got a 3-pack of gauges down there underneath the gauge. Everything looks great. Steering wheel feels great. The power feels good. That trans is shifting nice and smooth. The exhaust is sounding awesome. I tell you, I love this car, and it is fast, guy. What's cool about it is it's got the 5-speed in it too. So if you want to hop up on the expressway, drive 75 mile an hour with traffic, no problem whatsoever with the 5-speed. But you've got low enough gears that if you want to get up and go, you can get up and go too. Listen to the exhaust, just so smooth. Sounds so good. Now, we're right outside the Motor City. We're only 20 minutes from the airport. If you'd like to drive in or fly in and check out the car, no problem whatsoever. If you want to send an inspector, we'll treat the inspector just like we treat you. We'll get it up in the air. We'll check out the underside. You want to take it for a ride? We'll take it for a ride. We don't get a lot of visitors. We sell most of our cars sight unseen, so we do love to have visitors come in. Now we're about to do something nobody else in the industry does. We're gonna put this car up on the lift so you can check out the underside. Then we're gonna pop the hood, see what's making the power. Here's our building here at 15100 Keel Street in Plymouth, Michigan. So stick with us. We're gonna get it in the air for you right now.
All right, guys, this is the underside of our 1970 Olds here. Unfortunately, Greg had to step out during the back half of this video, so you're stuck with me for the end of it. Now, the trunk pan here looks like it's original to the car. I can see spot welds all the way across here, and it doesn't look like there is a seam here that's not factory, if I'm not mistaken, on these. It does look like the gas tank looks to be original in the car. Same thing with the gas tank straps. Let me see here. Looks like the trunk pan looks to be solid all the way up through here. Same thing here with the other side of the frame rail over here, and the drop downs on both sides, if I'm not mistaken, yes, look to be in pretty good shape. That's where you start to get a lot of your rot on these. So all that stuff looks to be pretty good. Something else I'd like to point out here is we have the old style 12 bolt. Now it's got about a 3.91 to 1 gear ratio in it. And it is a posi traction on this thing. I was mistaken before, but it might have a like a true track in it or something like that, because one wheel did like to move here, but when you go and spin that drive shaft by yourself, you will not be able to move these tires independently. So it does have some type of a fancy posi in it. Now the brake lines on here do look like they're in nice shape, and they do have the factory protectors on them as well. Something else I'd like to point out is we do have aftermarket lower control arms here, tubular. So that's also a very nice performance upgrade. We do have stainless whip hose up here for your brakes. Looks like that has some aftermarket bracing here for your upper control arms. However, the upper control arms themselves seem to be factory type stock. Something else I want to point out as we're coming up to the main part of the exhaust here is this is a Pipes exhaust system on this car. It's all mandrel bent. So it all looks very, very nice here. You can see here we got nice TIG welds on the X pipe here. It is an X pipe system, but it does look like it's removable, so you should be able to take all this stuff out, and you know, if you ever need to service the car for whatever reasoning. Looks like the parking brake does look to be adjusted and installed. Frame looks like it's in really good shape on either side. Fuel line over here, brake line here. Brake line looks like it's in okay shape as well. Now these things here, for those of which that do not know, these are electric cutouts on the car, so this is the sort of thing where you can start your car up right around, I like to do it about 5:30 a.m. That's the typical time I like to do it. And you can flip a little switch and you can make your neighbors really, really angry. So those are like one of my favorite features on these sorts of cars. We do have full-length headers on this thing, which adds to the anger of your neighbors. That's also a good thing. Frame rails up here look like they're in good shape here. Underside of our engine here, I'm going to get to that in just a second. And one thing I forgot while I'm here, the transmission in this car. This is an upgrade transmission. This is a Tremec TKO. That's the badass. That's the one that Tremec makes that's in a lot of really, really hot street cars. They can take a ton of power, a ton of abuse. It's a little more modern, so it's fully synchronized. Very, very good transmissions. And with it being a 5-speed transmission, you do have added drivability with your 391 to 1 gear ratio in the back. So you should be able to hop this thing up on the freeway without too much problem. Front end on this car looks to have been gone through at some point. You can tell it was cared for and serviced. And of course, we have a digital alignment rack, and all of our mechanics check this stuff out before we send the cars out, so everything here seems to check out. I would like to point out we have a Moog lower ball joint, a replacement type upper ball joint here as well on both sides. Same thing for the lower on this side as well. Looks like everything here is the serviceable style greasable points. Even like a Moog idler arm over here as well. So the suspension is obviously, I should say the steering obviously has been gone through on this car. Lower control arm bushings look like they're A-OK. This right here doesn't feel like it's full of dirt or anything like that, which is a common spot for things to collect and start to rot. This doesn't feel like that's happening. This frame is essentially just a Chevelle frame, and on Chevelles this is a very, very typical point for the rot to start to happen, is low on this front part, because this is where all the crap starts to collect and hold moisture, and I can stick my fingers in here and I don't feel any particulate or anything like that, so that's also good news for you as far as your frame integrity goes. Big old sway bar here in the front. Sway bar links look like they're in good shape. Something else I'd like to point out, looks like we got a bullet pulley system here on the front of this motor. Something we're going to get to in just a second. Looks like an aftermarket box up here. All good stuff, and something else too is that it looks like the alignment is in good shape. Adding credence to this front end being nice and healthy. As you can see, the tread wear pattern looks excellent. Let's go take a look at wheels and tires. Okay guys, here we have the iconic wheels for this car, and BF Goodrich tires. These are radial tires, 255/60 R15, so pretty fat for the front. And something else I'd like to point out is we do have the correct red wheel well liner in this car, which is very, very cool. So overall, very, very nice. Let's go take a look at the rear. Okay guys, for the rear rolling stock, we have 255/60 R15, the same as the front, which means these are fully rotatable. And so you actually have every bit as much meat on the back as you do on the front, and the fronts are actually pretty darn thick. So something else I'd like to point out back here is, of course, we do have the same iconic wheel back here, but look at the paintwork on this car. It's like really, really nice under here. Like, you often don't see things that's quite this nice. A lot of the time the painters start to get lazier as the lower side of the car starts to happen. You can look all the way up the side of this car, even underneath your body lines here, which is where it really starts to matter when you're really starting to look at these cars and really starting to judge them. And you can see the hoist arms, all of this stuff. You can see this Barracuda here in the background, all pretty easily in this paint. Very, very nice paint job on this car, and this is the perfect place to show it off. So that all being said, let's take a look under the hood. All right, guys, this is a Olds 425. Now, I do not believe this to be the original engine for the car, based on the casting number, which tells us it's a 1966 to 1967 engine. Now, something else to be said about that is the heads are 1966 heads, leading me to believe that this is a 1966 engine more specifically. Now, a couple of things that have been done to this is you can see that it does have an aftermarket intake manifold on it. This is an Olds Performer Olds intake manifold. Now the carburetor is a Edelbrock 4-barrel. It has an electric choke on it, basically just a Carter AFB, very similar to what would be on these back in the day. Let me see here. We do have a set of pretty nice Taylor wires on it. Looks like an aftermarket distributor out there in the back. This car does have, looks like a aftermarket AC setup on it here, and this looks to me to be a modern aftermarket heater control valve here. It looks like it'd be a modern aftermarket compressor. If I'm not mistaken, this very well could be a vintage air setup. I've seen that before, and that's what it looks like to me. Outside of all that stuff, this car does have power steering. If you didn't hear me mention it underneath, it does have a nice set of aftermarket pulleys on this thing. And something else it also has, it has electric fans on it as well. So also things to help, more modernize it, make it a little more bulletproof as far as cruising goes, overheating and stuff like that. All good stuff to have. And something else it has is a big, monstrous aftermarket radiator in it. It is black, however, it is painted over. It's just aluminum, or it is aluminum, but also very good things to see. Like I said, billet pulley system, all the belts feel nice and tensioned properly. If I didn't say it already, power brakes we do have on this car. Overall, pretty nice. We got a battery top around the thing. Overall, you can see we have our very iconic wheel well liners in this thing that are red, just like what it should be. Nice smooth firewall in the thing. Paint looks like it's in good shape. The wiper motor looks like it's hooked up properly. It does look like they removed the squirter system probably to clean everything up a little bit. It's not something you really plan on driving this car in the rain or any of that. But overall, pretty nice car. Looks like a clean install with the AC. Just pretty nice little build. So if you'd like to have this hot rod parked in your driveway, make sure to call Tom at the number below and let Vanguard Motor Sales park this 432 or 442, excuse me, in your driveway.